Good evening, you're watching the news on Croatian television. Government confirmed today that a Swiss court has rejected Croatia's request for the annulment of the arbitration decision in the dispute between Croatia and Hungarian oil company MOL regarding management rights in INA. Today's ruling means that MOL will retain management rights and that the Croatian government will have to cover the cost of the legal proceedings.
In its ruling, the Swiss Federal Supreme Court did not address the core of Croatia's request. Instead, the court cited portions of the contract between Croatia and MOL on the management of the INA oil and gas company, portions of the contract that Croatia wanted annulled on the basis that they were the result of corruption, and which exclude the possibility of annulling future arbitration decisions.
The arbitration proceedings against MOL were initiated in 2014 by the SDP-led government of Zoran Milanovic. MPs reacted to the court's decision in Parliament today.
I'm curious to hear from those who were saying 1 year ago that we were in an excellent position, what they have to say now, and also hear from those who initiated the arbitration, how they prepared the arbitration. It is obvious that those who initiated this arbitration, meaning the Milanovic government, had set the arbitration on the wrong foundations, and unfortunately the situation ended as it did. As you can see, we've lost this case as well, yet another failure for this government. This will cost us some money, more than €330,000, which is a lot of money for taxpayers. This shows that along with all the other problems facing this government, primarily Agrokor, a little attention should be paid to resolving INA as well. This means that the court did not address the core issue of the arbitration, meaning, did MOL acquire management rights through bribes and corruption? At least they have one similarity with Croatian courts, and that is that they focus on the wrong issues, not the important ones.
It should be noted that another arbitration between Croatia and MOL is underway before the International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes in Washington. Meanwhile, INA announced today that in the first 9 months of 2017, net revenues have increased by 23% from last year. In an interview for Jutarnji List today, Rosneft CEO Igor Sechin said that the Russian state-owned oil company is considering the possibility of entering into INA's ownership structure.
Russian companies, including Rosneft, have shown interest before. Such is the nature of this business. We as the management are, as to be expected, not focused on this. Our focus is to give our best to ensure the improved results of the company, regardless of who the shareholders are. I'm aware that the Croatian government has announced on several occasions that it expects the modernization of the Sisak refinery, but that MOL, as the largest shareholder, has announced plans to close that refinery, claiming that production in Sisak is not cost-effective and that there are too many employees. INA's board has obviously put its focus on the Rijeka refinery, which is closer to the sea and can connect to the market easier. However, we believe that there is no reason to close a refinery, which after modernization can assume an important place on the European market.
Agrokor was once again the focus of discussion in Parliament today. The opposition accused the HDZ of turning the investigative commission into a farce with its selection of witnesses. The HDZ responded that the opposition was prepared to sacrifice 200,000 jobs in order to topple the Plenković government.
They want to draw the process out, which is why they called these witnesses, so that the key witnesses never await their turn. But I've prepared some key documentation that will seriously shake up this government and its advisors. I am not that big of a fool that I would repeatedly announce this without having the documentation. You are so blinded that you would do anything just to topple the Plenković government. You have accused us of grand treason. You should be ashamed. You have accused this government, which made a flawless intervention in the Croatian economy, the best since 1990, of grand treason.
The SDPs Arsen Bauk confirmed today that 31 opposition MPs have signed a motion for a vote of no confidence in the government as a result of the Agrokor situation.
Representatives from the HSS, IDS, GLAS, Živi zid, Change Croatia, and the SDP have backed the initiative. We're just waiting on Most, and then we'll finalize the motion.
Prime Minister Andrej Plenković commented on the SDPs' initiative in Mali Lošinj today.
Yet another initiative from the opposition that is doomed to fail before it even gets started. It is unnecessary, against the interests of the Croatian citizens and workers, against the financial restructuring of the company, and against the economic and financial image of the country at a time when we are doing everything we can to stabilize our economy.
The IMF has raised its projections for Croatia's GDP growth for 2017 from 2.9 to 3.1%. It says that the growth is being driven by the tourism sector and consumer spending. The IMF added that the Agrokor crisis is currently under control, but that negative risks will remain throughout the restructuring process. Defense Minister Damir Krstičević confirmed today that Croatia is in negotiations with the U.S. regarding the purchase of 2 Black Hawk helicopters. He said that Croatia, as a NATO member state, wants to transition to Western military equipment.
We are in talks with the United States, our key ally in the area of defense, with regard to these 2 Black Hawk helicopters for our special forces. These 2 include an enormous price reduction, so we are taking into account that this be affordable.
President Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović visited the islands of Lastovo, Mljet and Šipan today. She discussed inadequate ferry connections and the repurposing of former military land with local authorities. She also called for more to be done to stop the exodus of young people from Croatia's islands.
I believe that this will be revived in a way and that people will come. People will be looking for security and a pleasant lifestyle as it is here. I think that in spite of the odds, there is a future here. But right now, there is plenty that still needs to be done to ensure that future.
And taking a quick look at sports, Marin Cilic is through to the semi-finals of the ATP tournament underway in Basel, Switzerland, after beating Hungarian Marton Fucsovics 7-6, 5-7, 7-6 this evening. And now the forecast for tomorrow. Partly sunny in the interior, predominantly sunny on the coast. There will be some morning fog. There is a slight chance of light rain in the east of the country in the afternoon. There will be a moderate to strong northeasterly on the coast, reaching gale-force gusts in the first half of the day and then shifting to a mild to moderate northwesterly. The northern Adriatic could see a southwesterly in some places. Morning lows of 0 to 6 degrees Celsius inland, 8 to 13 on the coast, will give way to highs of 10 to 15 degrees in the interior, 15 to 20 on the Adriatic. The 3-day forecast for the interior calls for slightly warmer temperatures and a moderate to strong southwesterly on Sunday. Cloud cover will increase in the afternoon when there's a chance of some light rain. Winds will shift to a northerly at the beginning of the week, bringing with it predominantly dry but cooler weather and a chance of some morning frost. The coast will see predominantly sunny skies. Southwesterly and southeasterly winds will bring slightly warmer temperatures on Sunday. Winds will shift to a northeasterly at the beginning of the week with strong to gale-force gusts in places. And that wraps up the news. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night.